One of my dark sides is being codependent. And I realized this in my first relationship after my divorce when I diagnosed my boyfriend as being codependent, and I was reading about it to help him, and I realized, oh shit, this is me too. Codependency is kind of like an attachment style. It's rooted in the fact that you don't know yourself very well and what you need. So you focus on the needs of others and meeting their needs so that you'll feel needed and loved and happy and affirmed and validated. You got to have that external validation, basically. And codependents have very bad boundaries. They don't know how to enforce their boundaries, and they just kind of let anyone in. You're so focused on meeting the other person's needs that you don't focus on your needs or ask for your needs to be met or enforce your boundaries. So in the beginning, it seems so great because they're so appreciative that you're meeting all their needs, but eventually you become empty and bitter and resentful because no one's meeting your needs, including yourself. You walk on eggshells around people because you're trying to avoid conflict. You ask permission to do things, even though you don't need people's permission. You're always apologizing and the first to apologize. And you feel sorry for the other person when they hurt you. You're always trying to rescue the other person or fix them or do things for them, even though it makes you uncomfortable. You struggle to find time for yourself and your self-care. And maybe you even lose a sense of who you are in the relationship. Sometimes you become a relationship addict where you always have to have someone in your life because how else would you be validated? The codependent person, aka the giver, ends up like losing themselves in their relationship because they're so focused on the taker and pleasing them. Just because you're attached doesn't mean you're in love. To heal from this, I had to discover what I liked and who I was and start focusing on doing those things. I had to also start standing up for myself and speaking my truth and say what I mean without saying it mean. And lastly, I had to really enforce my boundaries and not let people into my life if they couldn't respect those boundaries, and not be afraid to walk away from people who don't respect my boundaries. If you don't love yourself unconditionally, the good and the bad, no one else is going to be able to do that either. So I would say my favorite thing to heal from this was starting with that, not judging my thoughts and loving myself.